haven't done a trigonometry video in a little while, but I thought I'd check in on the boys. They're doing a little American tour, talking to right-wing demagogues, and they spoke to Ben Shapiro. Let's go over the video because he talks about Mamdani, populism, and if you're poor, that's your problem. Let's get straight into the video.
I think that there are cycles of history, and people don't remember things that have happened in the past, and so they tend to repeat the same mistakes. I think that we are now in a cycle of politics where perennial dissatisfaction is going to be the mode, meaning that we have an entire political class who are very invested in saying that a thing is the problem and then saying that they are the solution without actually offering any solutions. And then it turns out the thing they said was a problem is still a problem when they're done. And then people say, well, you didn't solve the problem. I'm going to give the other guy a shot to solve the problem. And I think that you're seeing that particularly with young voters. There's been a lot of talk about this is the most right-wing young and then it'll be like, no, this is the most left-wing young generation. And all that can be true if you're just kind of shifting side to side. And so the fact that everyone's flattering Mamdani by saying, well, he did talk a lot about affordability. And what I keep saying to people is, well, affordability is not like Beetlejuice, where if you just say it over and over, it suddenly arrives. You actually have.
Okay, so this is the guy who voted for Trump twice, and now he's saying, "Oh, you say affordability." Well, that's what Trump said. He's going to reduce grocery prices. He hasn't done that, but you listen to Trump. I mean, what's he saying here? That okay, populism doesn't work. It's ineffective. You promise a lot and you can't deliver, like Trump. I think he's been a bit more critical of Trump recently, but okay, so he's anti-populist now. Strange.
To pursue policies that are likely to alleviate an affordability problem. But if your solution is always give me more power, and it does seem like that is the solution of the day from both sides, actually, then you're likely to just continue penduluming one side to the other. Because people don't want to learn the actual lesson, which is if you actually want affordability, then either you have to change policies or change locations. Those are really the only two things. And also, I think more broadly, it's not.
So just move. If you can't afford where you live, you were born in a certain place, just move. That's it. Okay, so you're born in New York, you can't afford it. Fuck off, basically.
Not about affordability. We have trained an entire generation of people to believe that if their lives are not what they want them to be, it's the fault of systems, as opposed to decisions that are in their own control. And politicians.
Well, the systems you're born into, by definition, are bigger than you. You can't just, if you grew up poor in a New York suburb, Ben, statistically, you would stay poor. You were born into a wealthy family. You are wealthy. The data is clear. He doesn't believe in systemic racism or systemic inequality, which is inconvenient because facts don't care about your feelings, Ben. But factually, systemic issues, racial, gender, sexuality, do impact on people's lives. Again, facts don't care about your feelings.
Absolutely have a stake in selling that. A lot of people in our industry have a stake in selling that. It makes people feel good about themselves and bad about the world. And the reality is, if you want a better life, you should feel better about the world and worse about yourself until you actually, go do the right things.
I broadly, generally speaking, as a matter of principle, agree with you. But I mean,
yeah, just work hard. Just pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Become a grifter. Become a right-wing grifter like these two. Actually, that probably, if you want to make money, that probably is the best and easiest way to do it. Just be racist, spread misinformation, right-wing, and you'll make quite a lot of money. To be fair.
I was looking around at property prices, real estate prices in New York. I'm doing pretty well for myself. I feel kind of poor looking at those things.
Oh, no, it's unaffordable. And I'm not saying it's not affordable.
Right.
It absolutely is unaffordable.
I like that. Oh, it's unaffordable. Oh, one of the most expensive cities on the planet, New York, 3,500 medium rent cost. Oh, no. But just work hard. Kision, you need to work harder. Do a second channel. Do more videos. Come on.
Affordable. And if you wanted to make a political difference, what you would do is you would relieve the building regulations. You would make it easier for people to build, not harder. You wouldn't rent control, because if you stop rent controlling, then that creates incentive for people to build. You would allow people to build up further. You would get rid of many of the code.
I mean, there's an element of truth to that. There's a lot of regulations in American building policy, and that would help. I agree. But it's not just the building. It's that ideology of home ownership, which we have in the UK and also to an extent in America. The idea that house isn't a right; it's something you should work hard for. But I believe it should be a right. I think everybody, food, the basics of life, people should be entitled to that. And that is that's an ethical position that obviously Ben won't hold because he doesn't care about you. But we should think about, okay, what are our axioms here? Should people have, a good life? I think they should. But, maybe that's woke of me.
Regulations that are kind of antiquated. Like there are things you actually could do. And then if you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean,
that's the solution. Just move. If you're just move. I mean, even though people want to move to places like London and New York for opportunities to start a career, but if you can't afford it anyway, just don't live there. Yeah, move to Florida or something, wherever Ben is now. Solutions. Modern problems need modern solutions.
that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is,
You can't. You may have a family. You may have been born into a community. These people who tend to care about community and culture and heritage. You may have been born into New York or many other cities or towns, but you may have family there, friends, jobs, links. But if you can't afford it, you've got to go. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. Just move somewhere else. It doesn't matter where you live. Come on. Common sense thinking. Come on.
is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that. The history of America is you go to a place where there is opportunity. And if the opportunities are limited here and they're not changing, then you really should try to think about other places where.
It's so weird because they talk about the Rust Belt. So they're just saying to poor Southerners in America, just move to New York, even though they constantly demonize California and New York and Chicago and the big cities that create the wealth in America. Just move there. That's the solution. Not actually try and stimulate the economy of other areas of the North in the UK, of the South in America. Strange, isn't it? Like they pretend to care about the working class. I mean, obviously they don't. Clearly, he's telling you to just move if you're poor. Doesn't give a fucking shit about you.
Where you have better opportunities. Again, that's not saying that public policy can't change. I think it can, but I think that the solutions being offered are untenable.
Well, I sort of see the problem with what you're saying is that really doesn't sound nearly as good as free stuff.
Correct.
Oh my God. They always strawman this, like, free stuff. No, taxes pay for stuff. They pay for roads, infrastructure. That's why we pay taxes, right? Although it's complicated, actually, the government's taxes are more influential in terms of inflation and controlling the perceived value of the markets and the pound, which actually incidentally has gone down massively in the last 20 years. £100,000 in 2005 is now worth half of that. So our currency, the pound, has lost massive value. That's a big component why our economy is so fucked. We're stagnant, pretty much. Our economy, we don't build stuff. We don't build houses. What do we do in the UK? Our economy is dead.
Correct. The third grade presidential campaign continues to win. It's undefeated, right? Free ice cream, free busing, free childcare, and free money paid for by somebody.
Yeah, but it's always free money for the people at the top, isn't it? Subsidies, bailing out the banks, loans, stimulus. It's always socialism for the rich, isn't it? But never for the poor. We're never given a chance to go, actually, I mean, maybe like with COVID and suddenly there was money to like help people. But genuinely, no, it's like poor, like just fuck you, basically. It is basically, if you're poor, just fuck off and die. That's the message here. But they've done well, so it's okay. They've done well. They're doing the right wing grift. It pays well.
else. Well, what's likely to happen if Mamdani were to get his way, and he's not going, like, I think that the success of the Mamdani administration relies on him not being able to do anything that he says he's going to do. If
democracy, they just believe in democracy. You know, he just wants to help people, you know, families. They talk about the you know, positives of family life. Free childcare, no. Going to work or like getting a job, free buses, no. Being able to afford rent, rent freezes on rent stabilizer pop. Oh no. It's okay. So no changes, just tax cuts for the wealthy. Wonderful.
those things happen that he wants to happen, he's going to empty out the city. It'll destroy the city. If
Straw man, yeah, just like he just wants to give everyone $1 billion, just be no money. He wants to just give everything for free. Stupid.
he doesn't get those things, then it'll be really pleasant for him politically. He'll be able to blame the system for not being able to get done what he wants to get done. So the problems will stay the problems, but he'll just rail against the. He'll be a perennial outsider.
But what are the problems though? The problems are inequality, affordability, which he doesn't care about. Because yeah, okay, regulations house, yeah, part of it. But the disparity in income between the people at the bottom and the people is widening year by year. 156 billionaires in the UK. I think it's many more in America, at least double that, if not more. Hundreds of billionaires. And they keep getting wealthier. And they will continue. And the people at the bottom will getting poorer. And that gap is just gets bigger and bigger. And you see more discontent. You're more grifters like these tapping into people's discontent and going, yeah, do you know what the problem is? It's not the people at the top. It's immigrants. It's small boats. It's the transes. It's the wokey cokies. And that's it. No solutions. No solutions like affordability. Just move. Just move. You grew up in this town that you love, your family there, your friends, your community, and you can't afford it anymore? Sorry, but you just gotta fucking go. Just go somewhere else, anywhere else. You know, may not have ties there. Just fuck off, basically. That's it. That's the solution. Wonderful. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, join the membership from 99 pence a month, and I'll see you in the next video.